But let's move on to the NBA right now. Is it fair to say that the Lakers got robbed against the Celtics on Saturday? And Cuzzo, by all means.
By all means, man. Listen, no, it's not fair to say that they got robbed. It's a regular season game. What are we doing here? You know how many missed calls is happening on a Tuesday night or a Monday night? You know what I mean? My bad. Mainstream media. LeBron James happened. That's what happened. It was on national television. That's what happened. Okay. It was a, you know how many missed calls happen in the NBA on a regular basis, man? Stop this madness. Okay? Stop. It happened. He went to the hole. He got hit on the spot arm by Tatum. This happens plenty of times. All right. If you want to talk about getting robbed, we always got to use playoff games. That's why, Zay, when you mentioning getting robbed and it's a championship game, I can't come at you sideways with that because we talking about something that you could be getting robbed, man. This is right. This is playoffs. Somebody want to win the championship. Legacy is on the line. I can respect that take. I can't respect that you get robbed in regular season. Huh? You got robbed because it's LeBron James? What are we talking about here? Okay. So let's piggyback on something. I want to bring this up really quick. LeBron James went down to his knees. He got robbed and they went on social media. 2012. I hate to give you the history lesson. NBA Finals Game 2. OKC versus Miami Heat. OKC up one game. Kevin Durant 5 feet from the basket, and LeBron James fouls him blatantly. He missed. They win. Series tied 1-1. They go win the series 4-1. Do you know what would happen if Kevin Durant hit that shot and they win that game? They up 2-0. LeBron James' legacy might be different. Are you kidding me? That's robbed. Okay? That's robbery. That was Kevin Durant, Westbrook, and Harden. Okay? That was that team. And they almost went up 2-0 on a missed call by LeBron James on the baseline of Kevin Durant. That's robbery. So stop, LeBron James. Stop acting like you never fouled somebody in the closing moment when it really counts. It was a regular season game. Y'all still under 500. Get over it.
Say,
I kind of agree with Freddie to say it's a robbery. It's not really fair to say. I think what happened to LeBron James is a consistent basis with the officiating being in the NBA this entire season.
Okay.
I think they allow players to play. They're not allowing them to utilize the foul calls to take advantage of the game. They're actually allowing them to play basketball. I think that's fair to say amongst all of the NBA. There's more physical play in the NBA now than ever before, in my opinion. I think, at least not ever before. Well, the last 2 years, not ever before. Last 2 years,
Gotcha.
more allowing them to play more. They're allowing them to play more, and unfortunately, there's going to be missed calls happening in that magnitude. Now, if it was different, where the calls have been more consistent based on you can't touch the player at all, and
Right.
that's a call. That's a different story. The fact that LeBron James got fouled, it should have been called, but they're not. They haven't been calling those. Another play, recently, 2 weeks ago, RJ Barrett dunked the ball, the tie the
Mm.
game. Scotty Barnes had his entire arm holding his shoulder. No call. The refs deemed it as it was a no call because it didn't disrupt the shot. Meanwhile,
Mm.
a foul is you can't put your hands on him. He's
Right.
going up for a dunk. You can't put your hands on him. Let alone if RJ Barrett wasn't strong at all. What if he was scrawny? He wasn't able to hold his weight. That's when you call the foul. And that's not consistent. But what we've seen just now is a play where a guy got hit. They deemed him that it didn't disrupt the layup because it still went up. It should have been called. It wasn't called. It doesn't matter after the play happened that, yeah, you're right. It should have been a foul call because it doesn't change the outcome of the game. It doesn't change what the record says now. They have one more loss. During a time, the Lakers are actually running on a nice little hot streak. They were winning games. They had a lot of grind out games. So I say all that to say it's not a robbery what happened, but it is unfortunate that calls like this get missed on a night in, night out basis. And we have to see the report 1 or 2 days later saying, yeah, we made a mistake. Well, you can't change the record. So I don't want to hear about the mistakes
Right.
because it doesn't change the outcome. Because what if that was an implication of if the Lakers go to the playoffs or not?
Mm.
That call changed the entire game.
Honestly, I was on the other side. We was actually going to agree, but Zay's take made me go the other way. I'm
Yo.
going to disagree, and I'm going to say they got robbed. You know, me personally, right? I think before we get to that core, I do want to make a point about Darvin Ham because I remember when they played the Mavericks, I watched that entire game, and he came out in the post game and took ownership for not double teaming Luka on the final play, the final possession. Remember, they was down 3.
Mhm.
The Lakers was up 3. They didn't foul Luka, nor did they even throw the bodies at Luka. They had him one-on-one with his dance partner, and he took the lesson on his dance partner. He was able to tie the game. And Darvin Ham came out and said, "Yo, that was me. That was on me. I had to be better defensively, adjustments, etc." Cool. Now we get to this game, and before that play that I'm going to talk about specifically, I remember that the Lakers was up 3 in this game. They had an opportunity with less than 10 seconds to foul the Celtics to go to the line, make the first free throw, and miss the second. I don't understand for the life of me why coaches don't do that. I don't know if it's a pride thing. You know, you want to show off your defense. I'm trying to win the game. So
Cliff.
if I can make more dramatic scenes where it's so dramatic on their end to try to get the extra putback, literally, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to play that game. Darvin Ham, for whatever reason, is not willing to play that game, and it cost him 2 games. So technically, he was robbed before the referees robbed them. But that doesn't take a fact. That doesn't take away from the fact that the robbery came from the refs as well. They got robbed by their own coach and they got robbed by the referees. To be fair with you, Darvin Ham robbed them and the referees did too. All right, Zay, this is where we get to your point. You talked about RJ Barrett and the play with RJ Barrett. You talked about games in the past. What about this game? What about a couple possessions, or literally probably a possession before this one? Remember when the Celtics was bringing back the ball? They were down by 3. They made about 3 passes. One that got to a wide open Al Horford. He missed the shot. Jaylen Brown with the putback and one. And he
Yep.
got fouled. And he went to the line to shoot the extra point to tie the game to bring it to overtime. We forgot about that. That was a possession before. So we're going to call it then. How about we call it now?
Mm.
Yeah, they got robbed. Little Shadamas.
You know what it is though, cousin? It's a simple fact that after that situation, right? You know, they went to overtime, right?
Yep, they went to overtime because of the play. Yep.
Right? Because of LeBron James, they didn't call a foul. They went to overtime. Play. Do it again. Play basketball. I don't understand this, man. It's so many missed foul calls throughout the course of a game, especially an NBA game. I get at the end of the game, play 5 minutes. But did he get to you? Remember when what was that? What was this dude's name? J.R. Smith in the NBA Finals, right? He made a mistake after somebody missed a free throw, and he made a mistake and held the ball. LeBron got upset. It went to overtime. And then he didn't come out and perform in overtime. I'm like, well, dude, go play. Don't let it get you. Don't let it get you down. You still got a game to play. You know what I mean? Check yourself, bro. It ain't gonna go your way all the time. I get you, King James, but guess what? It ain't gonna go your way all the time. Check yourself in the moment and put on another performance. That should motivate you even more to play harder in the overtime to win. Go win.
And I get that point. But we have to realize that they didn't get off to a good start before overtime start because of the technical that Pat Beverly did. And obviously that was self-oriented because Pat Beverly was bright enough to go get the camera and show the referee. You got to be the biggest idiot to do that. But because of that, they got a raw deal to start overtime, and it gave the momentum. Remember, they're on the road right now.
Clear.
So you kind of had to get that momentum back and close a game when you have the opportunity, which they should have done. He got fouled on that play. It should have been 2 free throws. The game is over. We are not worrying about overtime. Remember, this is not I control my own destiny in a sense. You're playing against another team. You're not in the gym by yourself. They playing hard to win too. So now we go into overtime. They're at home. You give Pat Beverly a well-deserved technical. Like I said, it was an idiot play. And now the momentum is on Boston's side. And they remember, Boston is the type of team that they'll beat themselves, right? But if you get them another outlet to get it going, like Jason Tatum, I don't talk about him in my second lap because I want to talk about him for a second. But you gave them an opportunity, okay? You allowed Jaylen Brown to redeem himself from the free throw line. Remember, he missed the 2 free throws against the Knicks. You gave them the confidence to put you out in overtime, and that's mainly because the referees didn't call it right. That's why they got robbed the mill.
This is just a microcosm what the Lakers are going through this year. Injuries, plays being overlooked. That when Embiid held Westbrook's hand, a whole arm during the
Oh
play,
yeah.
I was like,
Oh yeah.
that's not a call. You can do
I
that now.
remember
We
that.
hand checking now. I was confused. I was like, hold on. It's a lot of different things that the Lakers have to go through. But I say all that to say this has been the league essentially major. It's been like that. It's been consistent with they're allowing guys to play through contact, allowing guys to play. Unfortunately, you're gonna miss plays like this when you're allowing guys to play through contact. As fans, we want to see the talents play. We want to see the whistle not be blown as much, but we don't want to see blatant missed calls like this. We have to pick and choose what we want because if you were gonna allow them to play basketball, allow them to play gritty, allow them to play tough and rough, you're gonna miss calls. If you want it to be a clean game, pity pat call everything, you're gonna get the travels, you're gonna get the free throws, you're gonna get people getting fouled out, the star players, you're gonna get all of that.
It's like
There
you
is no
kind of.
middle. We've seen it the last 5 years. The fans are going both sides of the fence. There's no middle, and we're seeing that now. Rough game or clean game. You got to pick because if you want the rough game, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see the rough game. You're gonna see the Draymond Greens going crazy, not getting a single foul call in X, Y, Z, and having looking like a tremendous defender, and then the other team crying about fouls. You're gonna see the Julius Randles in the world crying. You see a clean game, everyone's crying, nobody's having fun. The fans are now distorted because you're watching a 3.5 hour game, 4 hour game because the teams are shooting 80 free throws, and you're not gonna like the game. So you have to pick and choose as a fan. What do you want to see? Do you want to see guys the best talents facing adversity and getting a win, or do you want to see James Harden go for 45 at the free throw line? What side of the fence you want to see?
I think for me, that's what happens when you reinvent the wheel randomly. When you say this year we're gonna reinvent the wheel again. Now it's like, what is a foul? What is not a foul? We are still adjusting to that. This was the year that they decided to reinvent the wheel again. When you do that, there's a risk factor. First of all, the wheel shouldn't have been reinvented in the first place to get to this. Till you have to reinvent it back to what you wanted before. That's the problem here. Another problem that this exposes is when you call a challenge or you throw in the challenge, you call timeout, challenge a play, you should get another one if you win. Let's talk about that too. Because they didn't have a challenge. They could not challenge that play. But they won a challenge that they threw, a couple minutes prior. So that's another issue. There's so many issues more so than the way how they're calling it. It's the challenges. It's different situations. So that's what I got to say.